Thanks, Hugh. Hello, you're watching Wales Today. I'm Nick Savini. They're off. After months of build-up, Wales's players are on their way to Qatar for their first World Cup in 64 years. And MPs expressed concern about whether the rail company Avanti will be able to fulfil a pledge to increase services in North Wales. Good evening. For many fans, it felt like the moment when, after months of anticipation, the World Cup started to feel real. Today, the players held their last training session at home before boarding the plane at Cardiff Airport to head to Qatar for Wales's first World Cup since 1958. Here's George Zelensky on the team's final preparations.
Jetting off to their first World Cup in more than 60 years, a historic moment for Welsh football. And that wasn't lost on the fans who turned up at Cardiff Airport to see the players off. The recent success of the Wales team has been unprecedented. Qualification for 2 European Championships and now a World Cup in the last 6 years. And right alongside them, the fans, the Red Wall, with them every step of the way.
I reckon as soon as they've got that one game, they've won that one game, all they need to do is keep striving forward and they'll be fine.
Hopefully they do well. I am praying they do well. I would love to see them in the next stage.
USA's hard, but 50-50 chance of beating them.
And how do you think they're going to do against England? That's a tough one.
They might win. I don't think they're going to win, but I hope they try their hardest.
Ahead of taking to the air, the Wales squad took to the pitch for a final training session on Welsh soil. Cheering them on at the Cardiff City Stadium were hundreds of school children, perhaps the next Gareth Bale or Aaron Ramsey among them. The excitement palpable in a sea of bucket hats and Welsh flags.
They look up for it, that's for sure. Just hope we beat England, to be honest.
It's just amazing how all the people have come together watching Wales train before they go to Qatar.
What would I say to someone visiting Wales? Come in and have a look around.
With the eyes of the world on Wales as footballers, an opportunity for Wales as a country to promote itself to the world. The Welsh Government launching a campaign with the aim to highlight Wales as a modern, progressive and diverse country that's welcoming the world in.
We expect from the whole tournament to have a massive increase in people's awareness and interest in Wales. There's both before the tournament and during. And when you're in the region where the World Cup is taking place, there'll be extra opportunity to promote Wales.
For at least the next 2 weeks, Rob Page's side will swap the wet weather of Wales for the deserts of Doha, and with them, the hopes of a nation.
Well, despite the obvious excitement, there remain questions about the human rights record in the host nation of Qatar. One of Wales's most high-profile gay athletes, the football international Jess Fishlock, says she has apprehensions about going to the country where she'll be part of the BBC Wales team.
Visibility is key, and so going over there, even with the apprehension, it is important for me that I am visible and I use my platform to, not create massive amount of change. I don't think that's going to happen, but will it start a conversation? Maybe.
A retired NHS worker says she was arrested and faced a lengthy police investigation after travelling with a woman from Cardigan who wanted an assisted death in Switzerland. Sharon Johnston had been in a wheelchair since a fall in her house left her paralysed. Sue Lawford says she travelled with her to show compassion. But the 70-year-old says police were aggressive in the way they dealt with the matter.
We didn't really talk about it in the taxi particularly, but I think we both felt that any minute that we'd see a blue light and we'd be stopped on the motorway, I think. And she was really worried that she wouldn't be able to go through with that.
Dyfed-Powys police said it was an offence to assist in another person's suicide and that a thorough investigation was necessary, but investigators have confirmed that Sue Lawford will face no further action. UK transport ministers have offered to meet Avanti West Coast train drivers in North Wales to discuss working conditions. The rail operator is promising a significant increase in services by mid-December, but is currently running a reduced timetable. MPs used a Commons debate on the North Wales rail network to raise concerns about Avanti's ability to fulfil the pledge.
I have no faith that Avanti will be able to deliver this timetable. The issue seems to be an over-reliance on the goodwill of Avanti drivers volunteering to work overtime. Chair, I'd respectfully ask the Minister to join me in meeting with the Avanti train drivers to hear from them directly about their working conditions and why they are not volunteering to work overtime.
We'll be absolutely delighted to come and join her in Holyhead and meet those drivers and have a look round her constituency and see the impact that she has so ably described. And I really look forward to having a good, honest conversation with the drivers.
And finally, a teenager from Ceredigion says joining a local wheelchair basketball club has been life-changing. 16-year-old Kai Frisbee, who has cerebral palsy, says the skills he gained playing with West Coast Warriors spurred him to go on to play for Wales.
I came in not really exercising, low self-esteem, not really talking to anyone, and I met this whole community that I never knew existed up until that point, and they just welcomed me into the family.
Let's get the weather. Here's Derek with the details.
Hello, Shemai. There's more rain and showers to come over the next few days, but some drier, brighter spells in the mix as well. Tonight's a mixture of clear intervals and showers. Most of the showers in the south and west, heavy in places with a rumble of thunder, turning dry in parts of Powys in the northeast, with the lowest temperature around 5 Celsius. Tomorrow, another area of low pressure will approach us later in the day. We start tomorrow then with a few showers, mainly in the south and west, heavy in places. Otherwise dry and bright with some sunshine, but turning wet and breezy in the south later in the afternoon. The top temperature around 13 Celsius. Tomorrow evening, the wet and breezy conditions will spread further north. Good night.
That is Wales Today. We're back in the morning from 6:25. Until then, from all of us on the Late Team, thanks for watching. Have a good night.